What's up, positive bitches? How are we doing today? If you're hearing this episode, then you were meant to be here, so keep listening. On that Bitches Positive podcast, sometimes we will laugh, other times, baby girl, we're gonna cry, but we will always walk away feeling our most empowered, positive bitch self. That is Babe in true connection with herself. On this podcast, we unbecome who we are not, so we can fully step into exactly who we came here to be. Can I get an amen? Amen. I recently put up on Instagram, what do you positive bitches want to hear this week? And without a doubt, the most requested topic was, how do we get them off of our pedestal? So we're going to talk about it. If you feel like, I'm good on the day-to-day, I'm fine doing my daily habits, but as soon as I start dating someone, I lose my focus. All I can do is obsess over them. If you feel like I'm okay, but as soon as someone else comes into my life, everything gets cloudy, this podcast is for you. If you are dating, if you are single, if you are in a relationship, you need to hear this information because let's not forget, at the end of the day, we came into this world alone and we're going to leave this world alone. We cannot come to planet Earth and then betray our own existence the whole entire time and forget that we have a purpose, we have a presence, we have things to do while we are in this plane. So, if you have trouble taking people off your pedestal, and as soon as you start dating someone or even a friendship, they become your whole entire world and you lose your center, you need to hear these words today. We are going to be trading in our anxiety about this connection, our confusion about this connection. What are they doing? What does this mean? And we are going to be receiving today in a little perfect box and a bow our own peace again. We are going to be decentering who we're dating, even friendships, and we're going to be dusting off our pedestal so we can take back our rightful throne. Now, this podcast is not a hating on men podcast. That's not what we're about. I love men. I love women. I love everyone, okay? So that is not what this is. This is real advice on how to take your focus back and live through your divine feminine energy so you don't essentially lose yourself and go crazy, because I've been there and it's really not fun. We're not trash talking men. We don't need those faulty beliefs on this podcast. If you're looking for love, you want to feel love, then this is the right place for you. I don't care who you're dating. I don't care what you're dating. You need to be on your own pedestal. Before we get into our topic today, I do want to say, join the Pedestal Path. This is a course which is based on my pedestal principle, which we're going to talk a little bit about today. But if you really want to do a deep dive, the Pedestal Path will help you refocus on you, stop energetically chasing, find your peace, find yourself, find your purpose, and essentially quantum leap to a more magnetic timeline. If you're going through a breakup, the 21-day breakup will help you refocus on you, take your power back, shift the dynamic between you and your ex, and discover yourself again. I created these things so that you can take your power back. I've been there. I understand it. And that's why I created these courses. You can also start with the Divine Feminine Healing Workbook and or the Calling Your Power Back Workbook as well. Or you can get the free meditation on YouTube to call your power back. All that will be linked below. But without further ado, we have so much to talk about. So let's get into this. I want you to hear me when I say, no one is worth you losing your peace. No one is worth you betraying yourself. If someone is telling you you have to dull parts of yourself down in order to be with them, or they're not saying it but making you feel as if that is the only way for this relationship to continue, it's not worth it. You might not realize this now, but betraying yourself now will lead you to not only hate them later, but hate yourself too. It leads to resentment even if you don't feel it just yet. You have had the power this whole entire time. You have had the power this whole entire time. You might be thinking, Cece, that doesn't make any sense. I feel like they might leave me. I feel like they're going to break up with me. I feel like I have to be perfect for them to be in a relationship with me. I'm constantly thinking about them. Okay, but who placed them on your pedestal? The only person who can place someone on your pedestal is you. They can't run into your life, push you off the pedestal, and decenter you. No, you're the one who has decentered yourself and allowed them to take that place in your life. Now, this isn't me just blaming you. This is us realizing not only our power, but our responsibility. You centering yourself, becoming the main character, putting yourself back on your own pedestal, that is not only in your power, it's your responsibility. No one can take your power away. No one can force you to make them the center of your life. You can only allow that to happen. And if you allow it, that is you gifting them your power and you taking a step back and letting them be the center of your life. In the long run, you will not be happy if you're centering your partners. And again, this isn't a we hate men podcast. No, I love men. I love women. To me, that narrative doesn't make any sense. What are we doing here? Let's not lie to ourselves. 99% of people want to be in a relationship. They want to be with another person. I want to get you what you want. And you're not going to get what you want by taking the pain of a past relationship or someone from a past relationship. If that was a guy, you're not going to get the relationship you want by focusing on the guy that hurt you and gave you what you didn't want. There are amazing men out there. There's amazing women out there. There's amazing people out there. So let's get over that hump and stop lying to ourselves that all men are trash. They're not. And not all women are trash. They are not. There's beautiful, amazing people. How do I know that? Because I exist. Because you exist. Because I have family and friends who exist that I see every single day. So how do we master manifestation? Not manifestation, but manifestation. Attract, not chase. How do we take them off our pedestal? How do we decenter them? Number one, realizing that you have had the power all along. You are the one who allowed them to take center stage. You are the one who stepped off your pedestal and put them on your pedestal. You are the one who has been more focused on them than yourself. And it's not to blame you. It's to realize, oh my God, I've had this power all along. I have had the power. I recently was talking to a shaman and she said something so beautiful to me. And that was, your feminine energy essentially is your responsibility. Regardless of how other people are showing up, regardless of what they're doing, you can decide to show up in your feminine energy anyway. Yes, there's going to be men who are in their feminine energy, but that doesn't mean you have to automatically shift into your masculine and show up in another way. No, you can just decide, oh, that doesn't work for me, and I'm going to continue to be in my feminine energy. How we show up, what we broadcast, what we do with our focus, our divine feminine energy, that is all in our power to decide, regardless of how others are showing up. We don't have to match the vibration of what other people are giving us. No, we can show up how we wish and keep it moving and grooving and remove people, treat them accordingly, understand who they are and place them accordingly, and continue to show up in our authentic energy. The motto I want you to have moving forward, and I heard this from some show I was watching on television, but they said the line, I don't have room to be disturbed right now. I don't have time to be disturbed right now. So if you're going to come into my life, you better be stepping up with the best foot forward. Otherwise, I'm really just going to understand who you are. I accept who you are, but I will place you accordingly, and that will be just outside of my life. And I was thinking about this sentence, and I really resonated with, yes, I don't have time to be disturbed right now. But then I thought about it, and I thought about past versions of me. And I thought about the version of me that was very codependent, had a ton of time to be disturbed, and when she was disturbed, fed into the disturbing energy even more. And I said, what's the difference between the version of me right now and the version of me that allowed herself to be disturbed? And you know what it is? I didn't have something I felt worth protecting when I was allowing myself to be disturbed by people I was dating, my relationship, I didn't feel that I was good enough or my life was good enough or I had anything worthy of protecting. So I let people, I let people come into my life. I let them disturb me. I let them get into my brain and make me feel anxious and confused. I let it happen. And I thought about this some more. Think about a mama bear. What is a mama bear known for? She is protective of her cubs. You better not F with a mama bear because she will come after you. She is protective of her cubs. Her cubs are valuable to her. Her cubs are worthy to her. Her cubs are something worth protecting. My mom used to volunteer at this women's shelter, and a lot of women who would come through were women who didn't have the money or the means, but they had a child and they needed help. And what my mom always told me, she started to notice a pattern. These women would come in before they were pregnant. They would be with abusive partners. And my mom would try to counsel them to get them away from the abusive partners, and they wouldn't leave. And over time, my mom started to notice that once these women actually had their baby, there was a prominent pattern that they then were somehow granted this internal strength that they would then leave the abusive partner. She noticed that when these women had their child, for the first time ever, they saw their child as something worth protecting, something that was valuable, that something internally went off that gave them the strength of, I got to get away from this abusive person. These women didn't see themselves as valuable enough or as confident enough to walk away from these abusive situations. But once they had this child, they had something to protect. This is something we need to look at. Because there were times in my life, and I was not having abuse or anything like that, but there was times in my life where I didn't feel worthy enough. I didn't feel like I had anything going on in my life. I didn't feel valuable enough to protect something. I didn't have anything to protect. So I let people disturb me. I let them cause chaos in my life. I let them take my peace because I didn't feel I was worthy enough or had anything worth protecting. But over time, as I found myself, as I built myself up, as I built my business, I built my self-worth, I built my confidence, I found my calling, I have a following now that's worth protecting. I have a mission now that's worth protecting. I built up a version of Cece that is worth protecting, that, you know what? I can't be disturbed by any BS you want to bring into my life because I have something worth protecting right now. And it breaks my heart that I didn't feel that way about the past versions of myself. But I want you to understand, if you don't feel like you're worth protecting right now, if you don't feel like you're good enough to have something good in your life, you don't feel good enough to have the relationship or the love that you want or the career that you want, it's okay, because I've been there too. We got to build you up. We got to build your life up. We got to build something that you believe is worth protecting. Because when you have something worth protecting, guess who's a mama bear now for her own self? Guess who's a mama bear around her inner child, her life, her career? It's me. And it will be you too. When we are not able to derive purpose, validation, self-love, self-acceptance from ourselves, we starve for it in other people, especially our intimate relationships. When I couldn't validate myself, when I had no purpose in myself, I would starve for it in my partner. I knew it was easier for me to ignore all of these feelings bubbling up and just hang out with my partner instead of really facing the issues that I was having. I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel worthy. I felt lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. It was easier for me to ignore my intuition, ignore all those feelings, and just watch a movie with my partner Yeah, it was easier in the moment, but what ended up happening, it was harder in the long run. Being in denial doesn't mean that those feelings are going to just vanish. No, they build up. There is something about human beings we need to acknowledge. When are human beings happiest, I should say? It's when they're building something, building a family, building a home, building a career. How many times do we have to see in our own life, I really, really wanted this, I finally got it, okay, now I'm on to the next thing. Once we get what it is we want, we start focusing on, okay, what's the next thing that I can build? What's the next thing I can do? Progress makes human beings happy. We like to water things and see them grow. I really think this comes down to the fact that we're spiritual beings and we came here to learn how to manipulate energy, how to manifest, how to use our own focus and feelings to manifest the life that we want. We came here to learn, develop, and grow. So of course that's going to be something that fills us up, is growing things that we want to see in our life. So if you're able to have somewhat of a focus on yourself when you're alone, but as soon as someone else comes into the picture, your focus is all dysregulated, we need to bring that focus back home. We need to bring ourselves back to the center of our own reality. This brings us to step number 2 to taking them off your pedestal. Number 1 is to realize you have the power to do so. Number 2 is to realize that we have a natural affinity to build things. But here's the caveat. The one thing that you should not be solely focused on building is another person. You did not come here to be Bob the Builder. You are not your partner's rehabilitation center. You are not here to focus only on another human being. When you're ready with your partner to create a family, you two will come together and that will be a co-creation. But if you're not popping out babies right now, you need to be focusing on you. Another thing me and the shaman delved into is that self-focus is of the divine feminine energy. Focusing on the other is the divine masculine energy. To be in your divine feminine energy, you have to be focused here. Trust me, I get it. I also was conditioned to walk into a room and check the energetic temperature of everyone in it. I also was conditioned to be more perceptive of how other people are perceiving me than to be in touch with my own feelings. I also grew up in my masculine energy. So I understand it might not always be the easiest thing to do, but it's actually much simpler than we're making it out to be. To decenter someone else, we actually have to just recenter ourselves. It's not this fight uphill to get this person out of my center. If you just refocus onto yourself, they will automatically fall out of your center. And this is us stepping into our divine feminine energy. How do you know if they are your center? Anytime you're acting in accordance with anything else besides your own values or your own authenticity, you are not in your center. Period. So if you are manipulating yourself for them, changing what you value for them, changing who you are for them, dulling your shine for them, more focused on what are you doing with your career? Are you being the person I need you to be? As soon as you start doing that, you're in your masculine energy. It's over. You're not in your center. I want you to get really clear on what you want in your own life. What do you want in your career? What do you want in your friendships? What do you want in your free time, in your hobbies, in your activities? Do you have a creative outlet? What do you want? And what do you value? And from your values, from your desires, you have to build yourself up. Now, coming from someone who is very codependent, if I didn't have something to literally do with my time, I would just start obsessing over that other person and they would immediately become my center. So I had to create for myself non-negotiables. Non-negotiables, what are they for? They are literally boundaries, not even for other people. They're for myself. Because if I didn't have these boundaries for myself, I would just be like, what are you doing? How are you? How can I help you? So I had to have these boundaries, not for other people, but for myself. Non-negotiables are activities or things that you do on a daily or weekly basis that make you you. They are fulfilling. You enjoy doing them, whether that's creating content or going to Pilates or going to yoga or painting or coloring or singing or going to dance, whatever it may be, working out, taking a walk. No matter if I'm with my partner, if I'm not with my partner, if I'm single, if I'm in a relationship, it does not matter. I will always do these non-negotiables. Why? Because they help me keep myself on my own center, on my own pedestal. And it's not about other people. This whole entire concept is really about, oh, I've learned to always people please, and now I have to release this faulty programming and like an onion peel back all these layers to find myself again. Principle or step number 3 is understanding the pedestal principle. How you treat yourself will be reflected back to you in your external reality. So if you place yourself on your pedestal, other people will place you on the pedestal too. If you place them on a pedestal, they'll treat you like a fan. It's a mirror effect. How you treat yourself will be mirrored back to you. This also means when we ghost ourselves, they're more likely to ghost us too. I want you to start thinking of yourself as your most prized possession, because you are, by the way. You were literally gifted this vessel. You were gifted this body by God to come here and experience what it's like to be a human. Dolores Cannon, who is, God rest her soul, who is a very, very known hypnotherapist, very famous for this. She said there was lines and lines and lines of souls that wanted to be on planet Earth during this time, that it was a very popular time for souls to come to planet Earth and be a human. Everyone wanted to do it. There's going to be a huge shift in this great awakening. Guess what? Guess what, bitch? You got to come to planet Earth. You got here. Your soul fought to be here. It wanted to be here. It decided to be here. Do not waste this incarnation. Okay? Because there was a line, according to Dolores Cannon, and I believe her. When we are mistreating ourselves, we're going to see that in our relationships with other people. You are your most prized possession. If your parents gave you a really nice bracelet or a really nice piece of jewelry, or they bought you your first car, or I don't even know, they bought you a Tamagotchi, I don't know, whatever it is that you would really appreciate. If they bought you something you've been wanting, and you finally got this thing, wouldn't you treat it with the utmost respect? Wouldn't you see this thing as valuable? Wouldn't you see this thing as, wow, this is beautiful, I'm going to protect this? Wouldn't you? So why are you not protecting yourself? Why are you not respecting yourself? Trust me, I had to have this come to Jesus moment too. It was a little jump scare, but it's okay. We're getting through it. I had to realize I was gifted this body by God. I was in a line of souls to get to planet Earth, and I got here. Go me. I gotta treat myself with some respect now. I gotta respect my own time, respect my own boundaries, respect my incarnation, because if I don't, who will? If I don't go after the things I want, who will? I want you to see yourself as this gift. If you wouldn't give your apartment keys to just anyone, don't give away your time, your attention, your body, your affection to just anyone. You are sacred. Your energy is sacred. Your body is sacred. But if you don't treat it as such, other people aren't going to treat it as sacred either. You have to hold yourself up on that pedestal. Remember, step number 1 to decentering them is understanding you have the power to do so. So if you have the power to take them off your pedestal and decenter them, you also have the power to put yourself on the pedestal. And how do we mainly do this? Through self-focus, by having our own non-negotiables, by building ourselves up so we can finally see ourselves as being worthy, to realizing that we were granted permission. We chose to be here, and we were able to come to planet Earth during this time in this body. Oh my goodness, I have to protect this incarnation. Another way of seeing that you're something valuable to protect is envision your inner child. Envision your younger self. Would you let someone treat your younger self like this? You would step up for her. Sometimes it's really hard to stand up for ourselves, and for whatever silly reason, it's easier to stand up for other people. If you find it hard to center yourself, center your inner child. Center her. Be the savior that she's always dreamt about, that she's always needed, that she's been crying for since she's been 5 years old. Because that will snap you out of centering other people real quick. Real quick. Now, step number 4. There is this funny joke that I heard one time, and essentially this man was saying men are a lot like parking lots. They will allow in many different cars, many different people, and they'll just say, yeah, that's cool, that's fine, that's whatever. However, women are much more like driveways. We allow in just one car, just the car we know, and that's all. There's a biological reason for this. We, in tribal times, had to be more selective with who we chose as a partner. We needed someone to protect us, literally, from bears and other tribes and people. Also, 9 months out of the year, if we were to get pregnant, we had to be now with that man because that was the person who was going to help us with this child. So we have biologically been wired to be more selective or more tapped into our intuition as well. Let's use this to our advantage. We literally have a biological sway towards being more selective. Let's use this to our advantage. When you're more selective of what you allow into your life, you get selected more by the things that you want. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. If there is someone who you've been trying to take off your pedestal or decenter and you're like, Cece, I'm out of my mind, I can't do this, take out a pen and piece of paper. You can even do this on your phone. I'd rather you do it with a pen and piece of paper though. I want you to write out a list of everything you dislike about this person, because you need to remind yourself that right now your emotions are screaming and we need to introduce our brain to the equation. This person might have a hold on you because you're emotionally attached to them. Okay, fine. We've all been emotionally attached to someone who we had to remove ourselves from, okay? It's possible. Join the 21-day breakup glow up challenge if you really want to kick it up into gear. I want you to write down a list of everything you dislike about them. They're inconsistent. They really don't treat me well. They're here one day, gone the next. I have no idea where we stand. This is a situationship. I really don't feel valued by them. They never open the car door for me. They want to go 50-50 on dates. Write down everything you dislike about them. And every single time you start to spiral about them, you start to want to text them, you want to reach out to them, take out the list and read the list. This is a brain game. You need to get your brain on board with your reality, because right now your reality is showing you something, but your brain is still stuck in the past. It still is looking for that dopamine hit of where's my text, where's my hug, where's my kiss. So we need to show our brain that there's more to life than this icky, sticky person. Okay, so we're going to write down the list. We're going to read this list every single time you want to reach out to them, every single time you want to talk to them, every single time you miss them. Remind yourself of what it is you don't want so you can make room for what it is you do want. Another way to decenter them if you're going through a breakup is to simply pretend that they're unalive. Yeah. Now, why would we do this? Technically, they are unalive because they're out of the picture. They also really don't exist in your reality anymore if they're not directly in front of you. Hashtag the observer effect. We don't need to get into it, but it basically states that when you look at something, its form changes. So if we're not looking at something, technically, they just poof into an energetic wavelength and no longer exist in our reality. So technically, they don't exist anymore, at least according to your reality. Why would we pretend they're unalive? Because we're going to use this as a brain tool to stop spiraling about them. Remember, what is the divine feminine energy? It's self-focus. If we keep focusing on them, we're going into our masculine energy. We're starting to energetically chase them, and that just repels them anyway. But let's say you need to get them off your brain because you're being obsessed, you're going through a breakup, it's a situationship you want to remove, or you just want to take them off your pedestal. Pretend they're unalive. Every time you want to obsess over their Instagram, who are they following? What are they doing? I want to reach out to them. Why aren't they texting me? Wait a second, they're unalive. So they can't be dating someone new. They can't be getting married. They can't be getting engaged. They can't be doing anything. They can't be posting on Instagram because they're unalive. They don't exist in my reality. So I literally can't spiral about them anyway. And then what you're going to do, so step 1, pretend they're unalive. Step 2, do something else for 15 minutes. Read a book, learn something new, watch a TED Talk, learn a new language, paint your toes. I don't really care. It's best if you learn something new so you're replacing one habit that used to give you dopamine with another habit that will give you dopamine and be interesting to you and will really ground you in the present moment. But we need to do something. So whether it's taking out that list and reminding yourself of why they are not it, or telling yourself that they're unalive, which technically they are according to your energetic reality, either one will work. If you're still dating them, I would recommend the list so you can ground yourself in what's actually happening. And what I mean by this is if you're just dating them and you're already obsessed with them, you have to stop filling in their silences with your own desires, because that's going to trip you up and you're romanticizing them and you're falling in love with a version of them that doesn't even exist. And if you do end up going your separate ways, it's just going to hurt a lot more. So have a list of what they're actually doing. Are their words matching their actions? Are they being consistent with you? Is this someone you would want to have a family with? Do you actually see a future with them? Write down what's actually happening so every time you start to romanticize them, you can reel yourself back in and snap back to reality. Next step to taking them off your pedestal. You might not like what I'm about to say, but I'm not on these platforms so I can just build a following. I'm not going to lie to you. These tarot card videos, you got to stop. You have to stop listening to them. I'm not saying that there are not very talented people. I'm not saying that these things cannot be true. I'm saying they're messing with your mind and you have to stop. You want to know what your future is? Guess who's the best psychic for you? You. Based on your thoughts, intentions, and actions, that is what's going to manifest your future. You need a psychic? Check in with what you're doing on a daily basis. But what's more important is, what's more likely? I just need us to snap back to reality for a second. What's more likely? That these tarot videos that are telling you, and again, no disrespect to these people, they're very talented, a lot of them, and I really do enjoy their art and everything. It's no hate to them. But for your own sake, what's more likely? This person is secretly obsessed with you. They're journaling about you every single night, thinking about you, but have this mother wound and can't come forward to tell you the truth, or they're just not into it. What's more likely? They are so enthralled with you, so in love with you. You're on their mind every single second. They just can't reach out because there's something from their past creeping up on them, or they're just not that into it. Usually, the simplest answer is the answer, but I'm going to take it up one more step. Let's say all these tarot videos are true and they are enthralled with you, but they just can't make the first move. Why do we even want that person? They sound like a headache. That's not them being steeped in their masculine energy. That's not what it is you want. Action is thought reinforced. If they don't have the capacity and capability to step forward, plan a date, ask you out, be consistent, who cares what's going on in their brain? Who cares what they're going through? You don't have time to be disturbed. This is a magnetic mindset shift. I have built myself up and my life up. I don't have time to be guessing, what is Harry thinking? I have a business to attend to. I have friends to see, things to do. I can't be trying to piece together your mental puzzle. You can only meet someone as deep as they have met themselves. It doesn't even matter if all these videos are true, because who has time to be disturbed like that? That is how we start to center them and decenter ourselves. And it leads to us draining ourselves. It leads to us being confused. It leads to chaos. It leads to us being so upset of what's going on. You have to stop being the puppet and letting other people and even this person write your story for you. And you gotta reel it back in. Remember, being focused on them and what they're thinking and what they're doing, that's your masculine energy. Being focused here, that's our feminine energy. If you want to get into your feminine energy, refocus on you. And I know, trust me, I'm there with you. I understand sometimes it can be difficult. And I too feel those pains. It's a practice. It's a practice. We're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for progress. And everything I'm saying, if you can just strive to do it 80-90% of the time, you're going to feel better. You don't have to be perfect all the time, but let's just strive. Let's just strive for it. I'm telling you, take a break from social media. Stop watching the tarot card videos. Shut your phone. Turn it off. These videos, they're going to be convincing you of too much. It's too much for someone to bear. And all it does is cause you to have so much anxiety. I have so many clients who have fallen prey to these videos and they're in their own head and they get so worked up and so nervous. Let them go. I don't care what's going on with that other person. We have to care more about what's going on with ourselves. And if they can't show up for us, baby girl, you have to show up for yourself. I know this is a tough pill to swallow, but I'd rather you do that now than choke later. If they're being inconsistent, they're not showing up for you, you're having to text them, what are you doing? Can we hang out? It's not because of what these tarot videos are saying. I'm just saying, it's not. It's not because they have this mother wound and can't do that and they're like in a straitjacket energetically. No, they're either not that into it or they're a nothing player. They're just a player. So go let them play on the playground. You're not a child. It's giving immaturity. Good freaking bye. Who needs that? You don't have time to be disturbed. I'm not going to lie to you. So if they're not giving you courtship, you will feel confused. If you're confused, they're either not that into it or a player. Done. Why watch 30 hours of tarot videos? I just solved your problem. Move on. I know. Come here. Bring it in. Cry it. Cry. Let it out. Let it out. Whatever. But no, we're going to fall into psychosis if we keep listening to these videos. We need to snap back to reality. And why am I saying this? It's because I've been there. I've listened to the videos. I've chased men before. I cleaned a man's apartment once. Oh, what? Didn't even know him. Didn't know him. Took out his trash. What? Yeah, I did do that. And the tarot videos were like, he's secretly in love with you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing. In reality, he just wasn't into it. Where was the tarot video about that? Because I wish I would have known. Let's stop assuming. If you want to use law of assumption to this piece of hair is driving me crazy. If you want to use law of assumption to manifest your reality, go off, assume the best, whatever. But if someone is being inconsistent and it's not progressing and it's not getting better and it's not changing, just look at the reality. Why do we need to see 50 tarot videos? No. They're either not that into it or they're a player. And both of those options, total thumbs down, ew, not into it, been there, done that, it sucked, never recommend it, oh God, no, don't do it, save yourself. Don't waste your time. Why? Because you don't have time to be disturbed. Why? Because you're building up your life. You're centering yourself again. You don't have time to be disturbed. You are building up something that you can feel that is worthy of being protected. Once again, I just want to say, this is no hate on anyone who creates those videos, but we got to stop. Baby girl, we got to stop. A mixed signal is a signal. No communication is communication. Silence is actually very loud. If they don't have 1 minute, because yes, it does take 1 minute to say, hi, how are you? Hope you're doing well. If they don't have 1 minute to check in with you, you don't have time to think about them. You don't have time to be disturbed. That's our motto, remember? You don't have time to think, what are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? Men fall in love with what they invest in. Very logical beings. The more they invest their time, energy, affection, money into you, the more they are like, I need to see where this goes because I invested in this and it has to go somewhere now. Allowing someone to treat you negatively, allowing them to be inconsistent, allowing them to just throw you around, I don't know. That's a symptom of you believing that you're not worthy of more. So we had to go back to the drawing board and we need to build ourselves up so we know, wait a second, not only is silence so loud, but I'm worthy of more. And if I don't think I'm worthy of more, I got to build up myself so I'm proud of something. I got to, instead of romanticizing them, Romanticize myself, romanticize my career, romanticize my present moment, romanticize my workouts. Maybe I need cuter workout clothes to make myself feel better. Maybe I just need a freaking spray tan. I swear, just getting my hair done, a little curly whirl, I feel so magnetic, so amazing. Sometimes these little physical things really can make us feel all better. Instead of romanticizing them, we need to romanticize our daily habits, our self-care, our journaling, going to the nearest harbor, the ocean. We need to start to romanticize ourself. Self-care, baby girl, that is love in action. Okay, that is you showing up to the table, you focusing on yourself, you fulfilling your own cup. When we're so focused on filling up their cup, being perfect, we're like, wait a second, do I even like this person? I don't even freaking know because my focus has been on them the whole entire time. Romanticize your life and build it up so you actually feel that this life is worthy of protecting. I'm worthy of protecting. I'm worthy of more. And there's more. There's 8 billion people in this world. There are other people who want to give you what you want, who are willing to give you what you want, and also can afford your energy. Go towards them by decentering the people who aren't capable of giving you what it is you need. It doesn't matter if you're playing hard to get. It doesn't matter if you're acting like the cool girl because energy doesn't lie. So if you're centering them, they're going to feel that. You will get ghosted repeatedly. They will fall out of your life. You will feel drained because what matters is the energy that's behind the action. If they left your life, you're going to create beauty in the space they left you with. That's why I got onto TikTok in the first place. I was going through a breakup or went through a breakup. I had all this time and space. I started to create. And look where it got me now. Look how making that one little decision of starting a TikTok started my business, my career, my podcast, a book deal. Oh, that's interesting. It's almost like God removes people from our life so we can refocus on ourselves and our connection with the divine. Oh, that's interesting. Romanticize your brain. Learn something new. I'm telling you, when you build yourself up and your life up to something you can be proud of, you're going to be that mama bear. You're going to want to protect it, and you're not going to let anyone just step all over you. Now, the last step for taking them off your pedestal is taking back that energy. So what you're going to do is close your eyes. Imagine this person a couple of feet in front of you in your mind's eye and simply say, I lovingly and peacefully call all of my power back to me now. I lovingly and peacefully call all of my power back to me now. And envision your white light energy leaving the top of that person's head, going into the top of your head, down to your sacral chakra, right below your belly button, and filling up this energy center with a bright orange color. And feel your energy manifesting back into your body. Feel your energy restoring, rebalancing you. And come back home to you, girl, because you deserve it. If you want more guidance on calling your power back, you can get the Calling Your Power Back workbook. It's literally only $11. You can also get the free meditation on YouTube, which will be linked in the show notes, to call your power back. Do it every single day until you are feeling stable enough. Some of us, before we can center ourselves, have to stabilize ourselves. So take some time to stabilize your energy back into your own body by calling your power back, by doing the workbook, by doing the meditation. And if you're ready, join the Pedestal path where you can learn all of this, but even more enhanced and advanced. So you don't have to keep repeating the patterns that you don't want to repeat. And you can truly take your power back because you deserve it. You deserve it. We're never going to be happy if we're centering someone else. It's time we find and create our own happiness. As always, the sparkle in me honors the sparkle in you. Thank you for spending time with me here. I love you so much, and I will see. Oh, wait, before I even go there, If you can leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, it helps the podcast grow. It means the world to me. I would really appreciate it. If not for me, do it for you because good karma. And now I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to... Did I just say that with an accent? I don't know. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Vibin with Cece so you can suggest topics as well. Or you can always watch on YouTube and comment below. Okay, I love you. I'm done now, I swear. Mwah!